All right, we're going to run through some single step equations and solving for a variable. I'm going to do about 6 examples for adding and subtracting, and then I'm going to jump down and do when we have single steps with multiplying and dividing to show you how to show your work so you can show that on your assignment. Okay, here we go. So again, we're always trying to isolate the variable by itself. So over here, always start on the side with the variable. All of these have the variable on one side, so like y plus 6 equals 20. It could also be written as 20 equals y plus 6. So you always start on the side because our goal is to get that variable by itself and then to undo it using inverse operations. So here we would subtract 6 from both sides. Positive 6 minus 6 is 0, so we have y equals, and then 20 minus 6 would be 14. I have my calculator up here because, again, these problems over here, 20 minus 16, if you don't know them right off the top of your head, rely on that tool to help you. Over here, we have an x minus 10. To make that negative 10 0, we have to add 10 to both sides. So these are the steps I'm looking to see on your homework. So this will be x, 10 and 12 is 22. Over here we have a positive 12, so we're going to subtract 12. So that gives us z on the left side, and 15 minus 12 would give us a positive 3. For number 4, we would subtract 2 from both sides to give us n by itself on that side. 16 minus 2 would be 14. Number 5, a plus 4, we're getting a by itself, so we're subtracting 4. Makes it go away because that equals 0, so a equals 10. 14 minus 4 is 10. Over here we need to get m by itself, so we're getting rid of this negative 5, so we're adding 5 to both sides of the equation. That makes it 0, so just m by itself. Negative 10 plus 5 is going to give us negative 5. Again, for these, rely on your calculator to do it. I'm just going kind of fast so you can go and pause along, but again, if I have negative 10 plus 5, it's going to give, oops. Is that not coming up? That's weird. So negative 10 plus 5, oh, I didn't hit equals, will give us negative 5. So make sure you're using your calculator to help you out on those. You are going to be working on some of these other problems. So that's with adding and subtracting inverse operations. We go to the next page where we have when we're using multiplying and dividing. Okay, so here the variable term is connected to a coefficient, so that's like multiplication, or over here we have division. So we're going to undo the problem by making this equal 1 mathematically. So anytime you see that there's just a whole number, we are going to divide it by itself. And then we divide this side by it. So again, this is showing the work, showing me that you did this. Because then you know 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So this would be a 1x. And then 16 divided by 2. And again, use your calculator for these just to be sure, because if you don't know them off the top of your head, that's okay. Use the tool. And that would be 8. The idea is that we're learning how to set up the problem, use the tool to do it, because then when we get into fractions and decimals, you're going to want to use your calculator for those tougher ones. So if they don't come to you right away, you don't know 16 divided by 2 is 8, like right away, just use the calculator. Trust me. All right, over here, we're going to divide 3. Divide 3. So this would be t on this side equals, then 15 divided by 3 is 5. Don't put the t on this side. Leave it on the side that it is on the equation anyway. It's still the same thing. That's just showing that they're balanced. Over here, we now have a fraction. So we are going to multiply this by what you see on the denominator. So I'm going to show that by putting parentheses and just putting a 2 there. So then I'm going to multiply the 6 by a 2. All right, so when we do that, then this becomes just k equals 6 times 2 is 12. Over here, we have we're going to divide. So this would be h by itself, because these are dividing out, equals 9. 27, again, 27 divided by 3 equals 9. So use your calculator. Here we have another fraction set up as a division problem, so we're going to do the opposite, which is multiply. We're going to multiply by that denominator. We're going to multiply this by 3. This would be just j equals 12. Here we have multiplication, so we're going to undo it by dividing. Again, 6 divided by 6 equals 1, so that's why we can write 1p or just p here equals, and then again, use your calculator if you need to. 30 divided by 6, that gives us, of course, 5. All right, and then jumping back and forth. If I go back and I throw a problem at you like this, what do we do? Well, now we can't divide. Now we have to go back to subtracting. Subtract 4 from both sides. b equals, oh, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, so I'm going to actually type it in the calculator. That's okay. Use your calculator, please, if you don't know it. 26. I have a 10 plus c equals 25. Got to get that by itself. Subtract 10 from both sides. c equals 25 minus 10. It's 15, but if I don't know it, again, please use your calculators. Let's say I jump back. Uh-oh, now it doesn't look, I'm not adding and subtracting. Now I have this. What do? Division. Multiply. Multiply by 10. That's going to be n equals 400 times 10. Oops, it's 400, but 40 times 10. That equals 400. Again, so I'm going through these fast, but it's the same single step. This will be the last step. These will typically be the last step that we do in our problems when we are getting into more multi-step equations. So use these to help you, guide you through the ones that you have to do independently.